Nairobi. Two truck bombs in Somalia's capital killed at least 189 people, the deadliest attacks in the country's decade-long war with Islamist extremists, signaling that the insurgency is far from defeated despite years of U.S. counter-terrorism operations. Nearly all of the dead were killed by the first bomb, which exploded Saturday outside a popular hotel near a busy intersection in Mogadishu. The second truck bomb killed a few more people nearby. The Somali capital is a frequent target of attacks by Al-Shabaab, an extremist group linked to Al-Qaeda, but residents said they quickly discerned that the twin blasts were of a different order of magnitude. The death toll continued to climb overnight. By Sunday afternoon, officials said they were still trying to calculate the number of victims. The Associated Press, quoting police and hospital sources, put the total at 189, while Somali lawmakers told Voice of America that it was 218. A large swath of a city block appeared wiped out Sunday, and a tower of charred automobiles could be seen at the bombing site. A BBC reporter said people were trapped under the rubble of the Safari Hotel. Local media outlets published photos of bodies being carried from the rubble. Residents look at the damage at the site of an explosion in the center of Mogadishu. Mohamed Abdullahi Barre via Getty Images. Somalia's president, Mohamed Abdullahi Mohamed, declared 3 days of national mourning. The government blamed the carnage on Al-Shabaab, but the group has not claimed responsibility. Today's horrific attack proves our enemy would stop nothing to cause our people pain and suffering. Let's unite against terror, Mohammed said on Twitter. Today is the worst day of my life. We are overwhelmed by the high number of the casualties. I have been working at this hospital for more than 7 years and I never saw or heard this number of deaths, said Ahmed Osman, a nurse in Mogadishu's Medina Hospital, where many of the dead and wounded were taken. The International Federation of Red Cross and Red Crescent Societies said 5 of its volunteers were among the dead. One volunteer who survived, Abdiasis Mohammed, said he and his friends were drinking tea when one of the bombs exploded. When he regained consciousness, he said, he was covered in blood and several of his friends had been burned to death. Thank God I am fine, he said. 2 of Horo Ahmed's sons, both shopkeepers, were killed. They came home for lunch and we had lunch together, she said. They were innocent and the breadwinners for my family. Last year, she said, her husband was killed in an attack. Somalia has been battling Al-Shabaab insurgents since 2007, with the help of 22,000 troops from the African Union in a U.S. counter-terrorism campaign that has expanded under President Trump. Although those operations have forced insurgents from territory they once controlled, they have not curbed Al-Shabaab's ability to launch deadly and frequent attacks in Mogadishu, mostly targeting restaurants, hotels and places where officials gather. In 2016, Al-Shabaab was the deadliest terrorist group in Africa, according to the Armed Conflict Location and Event dataset, killing 4,281 people. Meanwhile, Somalia has struggled to maintain a stable government or a defense force capable of challenging the Islamist militants. Last week, both the defense minister and the army chief resigned for reasons that remain unclear. Earlier this year, the country teetered on the brink of famine, in large part because of the effect of the fighting on agriculture and the distribution of humanitarian aid. In the wake of Saturday's attacks, one Mogadishu ambulance service underscored the scale of the bloodshed. In our 10-year experience as the first responder in Mogadishu, we haven't seen anything like this, an ambulance said on Twitter. In a statement, the U.S. mission to Somalia called the bombings cowardly attacks that reinvigorate the commitment of the United States to assist our Somali and African Union partners to combat the scourge of terrorism. Horrified by deadly attacks today, Michael Keating, the top United Nations official in Somalia, wrote on Twitter. Abdullahi Dahir Meyer in Mogadishu contributed to this report.